All right. So we've been going at it for 5 seconds apparently. So everybody, welcome to episode 13 now of Hot Laps of Liberty. So I'm Reed, joined with Steve up there, and Connor's over here. So how y'all doing, fellas?
I'm here. How you doing, Connor?
I'm also here.
Well,
Great.
pretty much we got kind of an abbreviated show, I guess, compared to normal, compared to the hour and a half last time. Gonna be on here for the next 30 minutes or so, chatting with our guest, joining us from the state of Washington, all the way on the other side of the country from us. Everybody, welcome Mr. Dominick Hunter. Howdy, Dom. How
Hey,
you doing?
hey, how's it going?
Going good. So, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you race and where you're from.
Like you said, I'm from Washington, and I've been racing like modifieds for the past, I think, 6 seasons now, 7 seasons, 2 championships, but trying to get a late model put together for next season.
So, speaking of the late model, you had that up and going at one point. What happened with that?
Yeah, that lived one lap of a B main, and that's the car behind me right now. That's that chassis.
So
We
is
reclipped and
so did you work that onto the vintage modified car, or is it this like how did that go?
so we just reclipped it and then just threw the vintage body on it, and away she went.
What kind of body you got on the vintage modified?
Say
What's the whole deal with it?
It's a 41 Chevy two-door sedan, but it's really just the roof cap. Everything else is aftermarket. And
Is it that when it's it's called a vintage modified? I mean, is every other competitor's got pieces and parts of cars that old, or is it some slightly newer stuff? What's the average competition for you in that division?
for body style, it goes from 40s all the way up until we're allowed, I think 73 now, because it's hard to find that old steel. It used to be like 48 for the body style, but they updated it to that 73 date.
It, I don't
But they're
know.
really just
Go ahead.
like retired late models that you put the body on and go race it.
As far as those like old bodies, though, I feel like you kind of be hard pressed to find pieces that are good enough to put on a race car that are still in good condition with how old some of those are.
Yeah, nowadays it's getting a lot harder to find. When you do
So,
see one pop up, you go and grab it.
so you say you won two track championships. Where at?
South Sound Speedway in Tenino. It's about 30 minutes south of Olympia, about an hour and a half away from Seattle.
Me and my southern geography, I just know it's up there somewhere. Everything's just up there.
Top, top
It's in the
left,
corner.
down about a
Hmm.
16th of an inch.
What?
So, go ahead, Reed.
Now you go ahead, Steve.
So, Dom, you've been a supporter of LRR literally since the very beginning. If I'm not mistaken, you were like our first or second follower. You followed us over here from previous experiments that we had in racing media, and you're actually kind of like family to us. You even have one of our stickers in
Yeah,
on your dash.
Mhm.
You were the first driver to actually get a LRR car a win and a championship for that matter. So congratulations on that. We appreciate
yeah,
you for supporting us all the way out west.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did we get started from Facebook group or
Yep.
it's been so
Yes.
long?
We've just been buddies from the Facebook
Yeah,
groups, and then went over to URN, and then over here to LRR, and it's just stayed, same group of folks that like
Wow.
was, at the
I,
start of one was at the start of another, and you were one of that, the founding group.
I think it's been what, almost 3 years in total now.
Uh, well, we've been at this specific thing, LRR, for a little over a year, and it was probably 6 months or so of URN before that, and then of course the Facebook group before that, probably like 2.5 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
that's crazy that much time's gone by.
I
Us
just
just talking about racing.
go ahead,
Sorry.
Connor.
Was there a previous iteration before the URN?
It was just a Facebook group, just a
Yeah.
meme group. Like,
We're not gonna say them out loud because yeah,
Yeah.
reasons.
Cool.
But
yeah.
but also Reed, I just noticed you're wearing a nice pretty shirt.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The logo
Oh, look at
looks
that.
awfully familiar, doesn't it, Dominic?
Yeah.
Dominic, tell us a little bit about Field Motorsports.
So, yeah, I guess it's just a family team. My dad, he's been racing since 1986 he started when he was right out of high school, so 19-ish, racing vintage modifieds. And they called them jalopies back then, but 'cause they were kind of jalopies. But yeah, and then I don't know. And then I got connected with him when I was, I think, like 12 or 13, and I've been helped him with his car, and then I built my own car when I was 18 and started racing.
You
But
you
yeah,
had
it's
mentioned building the late model for next year. Is it just going to be at South Sound? What's some other tracks up there you could potentially be running at with that?
I could run it South Sound. Uh, there's Wenatchee, State Line, and then Tri Cities is the big track. But we'll see. It's for money wise, we'll probably just stay at South Sound with the late model. It's a little more
So,
economical on the tow bill.
out of curiosity, how close are you to the Canadian border, and would you ever run a race in Canada?
I'm like with Seattle traffic. I'm like I think like 4 hours from the Canadian border. Sorry, but
Same thing.
same thing. Yeah, Seattle traffic's rough.
Nothing gets worse than Atlanta, trust me.
Amen.
Atlanta's an experience just for the traffic, man.
Hey.
Could you imagine towing a stock car from Washington State all the way down here to Georgia to run it like Cordele or something? That'd be wild.
That'd be incredible.
Need
I
to
know
get
there's
into
a couple guys that tow down for like Snowball, and
yeah.
they've
Yep.
towed in there for some other things.
You
I
know that's
know
something.
Jeremy Doss is from California.
Yeah,
I think Jacob Gomes is from out that way, maybe, or maybe he's from Midwest.
California, I think.
Um, so yeah, there's quite a few California and Oregon, Washington drivers that make the trips down here every now and then.
There's
Yeah,
a
Flybon is the Washington one.
Yep.
Hayden
there
Flybon.
was there was a snowflake driver last year that was from Ottawa, Canada,
Oof.
which is a long drive.
There's been quite a few Canadians. Like I mean Cole Butcher, Kyle
Yeah,
Steckley, Nicholas Noggle. There's I could probably name more Canadian drivers than I can just like out west drivers, which is kind of weird to think about. But I don't know with that all the travel that would be involved with that for some of these guys and how they travel from Canada to the south or from California to the south or how like Bubba Pollard has gone out up your way and kind
Yeah.
of up to Oxford. Do you experience some of the guys from around our area coming to you very often?
Uh, no, the we just had Bubba Pollard. He was at Wenatchee and then State Line, so that was cool to actually see him in person. One of the idols, you know.
when
But
was this?
That's a couple months
this
ago.
summer,
Okay,
midsummer, yeah. He ran the Wenatchee 200 and then the Idaho 200. And I made it out for the Idaho 200 to go watch. He ran a modified and then the late model.
Um, didn't didn't Grant Thompson run some races out your way at some point? He's
Yeah, so he runs for Sharp at Racing Dynamics every now and then.
yeah, he's
They're out of
an Alabama
Montana.
boy.
Yeah, those two
So
when they get together, they're pretty potent.
I don't know. I like seeing the guys from out west come down south, and it's always neat, especially for the Derby, seeing like how diverse the field is from where they're all from. But I don't know. I really want to make my way out to races up there, and likewise see some more drivers go up that way because I just like seeing drivers traveling to different short tracks, going out of their comfort zone,
I was
so to
about to
speak.
I was about to say there's a lot of guys that just stay. It's a regional driving style, I would say, for like the Southern Super Series. Most of those guys have the same driving style, but when you throw a curveball out there and get hypothetically speaking, let's say Dom comes out here, maybe his driving style is different. Maybe he's less aggressive, more aggressive. He's up on the wheel, he's back on the wheel, he's back in the seat. It just the dynamic changes
Uh,
per
you got to be
region.
pretty aggressive to race with the Southern boys.
Yeah.
The competitors that come to mind when I say that. But um, but no, like I think I was looking at possibly going to the Idaho 200 when I was looking at crafting the schedule for this year, and at some point I do want to go out there, but then it's like a lot of these guys can't afford to do the ASA national tour, and it only really covers the South and like the Midwest. You know, it's not a whole lot compared to everywhere else in the country. So it's like it kind of puts you guys in a disadvantage all the way up there because you got that area, but then from there to this side of the country where I'd say it's probably more populated with racetracks, there's really not as many tracks, but you still have to travel a lot just to go between those tracks.
Yeah.
Like, and of course,
Yeah, I'd say we're
I'm not too familiar with
we're
all the
definitely
tracks up there, but
yeah. Say we're
I would
segregated up here a little bit.
I would assume there's more dirt tracks out your way than there is asphalt, just based on
Uh,
the dirt scene out west. Because I mean, you got the Chili Bowl, you got Tulsa Nationals, you've got all those racetracks in California, Arizona, New Mexico's got a lot of tracks. I don't really know of many big dirt tracks in Washington State, but there's a lot of big name dirt track drivers that come out west that run in all those races.
yeah, I'd say the biggest dirt track we got is Skagit for so they do the Dirt Cup. I think that's where Rico just won $100,000 or some stupid purse a couple
Dang.
weeks ago or a month ago.
They really make the purses that big? What in the world? $100,000?
oh yeah, especially
Yeah, I
these
was
sprint.
mad. I was racing that
That's
month. I
normal.
wanted to go.
That's normal. All right. Dang.
Yeah, dirt racing purses are crazy, especially compared to the
If
stuff around here.
if you want to make money in racing, you go dirt racing.
100K is
Not
actually
really.
I'm
Not
just
not
If you
not
outright.
want to
really.
make a lot of money, or no, if you want to make a little money in racing, you start with a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of seems to be a pay to play. I mean, at least from my point of view. I don't know
well, yeah,
about you, Dominic, but would you say
Yep.
that it's kind of a pay
Yep.
to play sport?
Yep.
Yep. Is it like a
Especially around here when racing isn't really a big scene. I'd say it's more of a select crowd.
got you, got you.
yeah, that's another thing too. Is like what compared to just the rest of the population, how big is racing up your way? Because obviously down south it's huge, but um, what's that spread like up there?
I'd say a lot of drag racers and road course guys, but yeah, it's not as the circle track scene isn't as big as you guys have down south.
And so I know, like NASCAR, for example, they go to Portland. Xfinity Race at Portland draws a pretty good crowd. I just, the percentage of regular people that are race fans, I'm sure it's more or less in different areas of the country, but it's like the South. Obviously, it's really big over here and in the Carolinas and stuff where NASCAR was kind of started. Um, but like, what's that like big connection to racing up there? Because like obviously the Carolinas, it's where NASCAR got its start. Alabama had the Alabama gang and all these guys. Is there anything like that that kind of stands out from your region as far as racing history?
Uh, so we have, I guess, like, have you guys ever heard of Garrett Evans
Mm-hmm.
or like
Mhm.
Tom Sweatman? Uh, who else? Greg Biffle.
Yeah.
So we have our names, but it's very few and far between that's nationally recognized, I guess. Uh, Chad Little, uh,
I
Tanner.
always forget about Chad Little.
So
But
Hold up. How did we not know this, Reed?
What?
Casey
that?
Kane is from Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Why
Casey
didn't we-
Kane from Enumclaw?
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
I'm sorry. Who's Casey Kane?
Are you
Oh my
serious right
lord.
now?
Sorry.
Connor. Connor.
Casey Kane is
Apologies. Connor's just a little kid compared to everybody else.
Bro,
He doesn't
look.
know NASCAR names. He's his
he's
own.
used to those road course drivers.
Okay. No, I want to play a little trivia. So, Connor, if I say a NASCAR name, you tell me if you know them or not. Okay. Matt Kenseth.
I think he's
You're going.
frozen.
I think Connor froze up.
Okay.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Somebody throw out one if you can think of one.
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you gotta know Jeff Gordon, right?
Hang on. No, I don't. No, I don't. Truly.
Oh my god. Okay, all right.
Sorry, Don.
Dale
I know you're
Earnhardt
the guest,
Sr.
but like obviously this is a much more important thing. It's like how?
Okay, if you get this one wrong, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Dale Earnhardt. He's frozen again.
Yeah, he kind of froze again.
All right,
Do
we
you-
good now?
Yeah. Did you hear what Steve asked?
Yes, Dale. I heard Dale. I definitely know Dale. Yes.
Okay.
At least you know Dale.
Okay, you're somewhat redeemed,
Yes.
but Jeff Gordon's flag. Oh, there's Will. Stiff for the bib. Will Rigdon, Atlanta Motorsports Parks Media Director. We love you, Will. We appreciate everything that you let us do out there at the facility.
So
Awesome, Will.
okay. I gotta ask. Jimmy Johnson.
I've heard the name. I just don't know who he races for.
He retired in 2020 or 2020.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Man, I definitely got to do my research on this one.
Hold
Seven
on.
times. I mean,
Hold on. No, seven time. Hold up. I'll be right back.
No.
What's Steve coming back with?
How's that, man?
No. He's probably coming back with some Jimmy
Yeah.
Johnson shirt.
So Connor, see the 24 behind the chair. You can only
Yes.
really see the 2, but that's Jeff Gordon's 24.
Okay.
He's the one that made that number famous.
Okay.
Educating the youth on NASCAR lore on this episode of Hot Laps of Liberty.
20-year-old I am. Come on.
Okay. All right. Jimmy Jam. All right. Jimmy Jam. Jimmy Johnson. The Lowe's Home Improvement car. All right. The Power of Pride car. The diecast. This is probably the greatest diecast ever released. That's just a personal opinion.
Sick. Love it.
But like 7-time, I almost said Stanley Cup. Dear Lord, I'm in hockey mode right now. 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmy Johnson, the man that everybody thought was an idiot because his very first race he plowed the absolute poo-poo out of the wall at Watkins Glen in that Alltel car. What was that? 2000.
Sometime before I was born.
And somebody said, and that somebody being Jeff Gordon. Maybe I need to talk to Rick Hendrick about this guy. And lo and behold, him, with help of Ricky, they managed to get Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus as best friends, and they go off and win 5 championships in a row, the only driver to ever do that.
Dang.
And then he won 2 more. One in 20, what was that? 20, what year was that, Reed? I know it was 2016 was his last one.
Oh, wow.
It was 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Or no. 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13?
Sick, dude.
No.
Because it
No.
skips.
He did 5 in a row.
What was
And then
Keselowski?
his last one was 2016.
Okay. It was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 was Keselowski. Jimmy won in 13. 14 was Harvick. 15 was... Who was in 2015? Logano?
Truex.
No, Truex was 2017. I remember that for a fact. And then 2016 was Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
I just looked up Johnson co-holds record with Dale and Petty for 5 consecutive wins. 06, 2006 to
6, 7, 8,
2010.
9, 10. 12 was because who was 11? Why am I drawing a blank on 2011?
Sick, dude.
Shouldn't it have been Carl Edwards?
Oh
That
yeah,
sounds
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
right.
That was the
It
one that
should-
it was Stewart. It should have been
I got-
Carl.
Yeah,
Yep.
it should have been Carl Edwards. Brother Carl got royally screwed that year. But Dominic, we apologize for going off on a tangent here, but our boy,
Oh, no,
our
it's
boy
fine.
didn't know. You can understand. You're a race car driver. But let's see. I'm trying to think of where we were
Class
at.
was in session.
Do
What
I?
was-
I said class was in session.
Oh yeah, I was. We were educating the young one. Let's think here.
we say that as if I'm not just as young.
You're cultured, Reed. Sorry, Connor, you're not cultured in NASCAR yet. You need a little bit more
Yeah,
time.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get in there. It's just gonna take us a while. So Dom, what's your plans for next race season? Do you plan on just running that vintage modified, or do you plan on bringing your car fully back that was killed on lap 1 of that B main?
So I guess my vintage car is the car that got killed on the B main. That was a late model, sorry, but I got a left-hander car that we converted to Toby. So we're gonna run that next season.
Okay, I'm a little confused here. Toby, that's not something we see down south.
He so I guess he kind of takes left-hander chassis and then puts his own suspension on them. So Ty Majeski, he drives for Toby.
Toby Nettleman, right?
We converted it to what Toby wanted. So we don't really know his schedule yet. So we'll figure it out this winter. Kind of figure out what we want to do and if we want to travel a little bit or just stay at South Sound, or we don't know. Season's just winding down, looking for a little bit of a break.
Yeah, Connor texts me. He goes freezing up big time. Yeah, you've been in that exact pose for like 2 minutes now.
Oopsie.
Oops. So what's
You
the timeline for getting Dominick Hunter to the Snowball Derby?
Whoever writes me a really big check, I'll be there.
So it's September 24th, October 24th, November 24th. 2 months, 7 days.
I'll pack my suitcase.
All right. Pack your suitcase, bring the car. We'll at least try to qualify it. That'd be kind of cool to seeing him run a Mods of Mayhem tour race. I would in a vintage. I don't know if you could even do that. I don't know if the rules and regs would apply to that because I think the body styles.
It's modified.
Yeah, it's a modified, but does it fit the rules and regulations?
We lost Connor. Let's switch over to the 3-person screen real quick. Assuming it's ready, which of course it isn't.
No.
We lost Dom. What? Okay, let's go back. Okay.
I'm so confused.
What we'll do here is we'll do a little bit of nifty editing.
Oh, looky there. Reed, Chief Marketing Editing Director. In action. This is what this man does day in and day out, like fixing my mistakes, like he did today.
Like JP said, how outlaw is outlaw late models? If it's really an outlaw late model, Dom can bring his car and he can run with the outlaws, right? Because no laws.
Theoretically.
Yes,
Should be, right? So
it's vintage. So
I don't know.
To worry about.
To kind of close, I guess, like, I feel like there should be, for like a race as big as the Derby, it'd be nice to see it be a little bit more geographically centered somewhere. So like Dom, where's someplace you think? Are you familiar with any tracks that could be a good candidate for something like that?
I think a perfect opportunity would be like the Chili Willy down in Tucson because it's around the time when I guess I don't know what your guys' season looked like, but they should all be done racing. We're done racing, and they're holding the race, so everyone should throw their cars in the trailer and go tow down to Tucson. And
now,
I went last year and checked it out. That track's pretty wicked.
What are you saying, Steve?
What I I can't think of the. I've lost my train of thought, which is nothing unusual. Um, it was something about a track. There's a track. Oh, we were talking about centering it a little bit more central to everybody. That way, it's a little bit more accessible. I would think somewhere like Iowa, even though that's a speedway. But I mean, there's got to be a short track somewhere in Iowa that would be capable of holding an event like that. But I think Iowa, and I think if you build it, they will come. So what this actually is, this is an announcement for LRR. Me and Reed are about to go build the greatest short track to ever. No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. We're broke.
They're already doing that at Owasso. So
yeah, that track's gonna be amazing when it's done. I've seen the pictures and the game plan for that thing. Oh my god,
that I feel like is a little bit more reasonable if we want to get Dom to travel somewhere. Go to Owasso, Michigan. It is it's a little track that's going through 8 phases of renovation. They're on like phase 1 of 8 right now. They want to get it ready for NASCAR trucks. I feel like it'd be a little bit. Obviously, it's still a hell of a lot of travel, but not quite as taxing as going all the way down to Florida. Maybe
that's Route 66 the whole way. Yeah, do that. That's the ultimate guys trip. Like,
you just have to be okay with being disappointed that you're ending up in Michigan of all states.
Bro, dang.
At least you go into the South. You're going to some places with history and
and
like
sweet tea
and sweet tea,
like Alabama sweet tea.
Yeah, and Yellow Hammer gas station fried chicken.
Yes,
and you just go to Michigan, and I mean,
you got Tim Hortons. You got Timmy's.
When I was down in Tucson, I had Waffle House for the first time, and I'm a big fan of grits.
Yeah, bro.
I love grits.
Grits. You don't go to Waffle House for grits. You go for that all-star special with country ham, add bacon. Let's see. Your hash browns smothered, scattered chunk, all the way. That waffle needs to be covered in the stickiest maple syrup handle thing that you can think of. So, like, when you go grab it, it better stick to your hand, and you can't let go of it. And you got to top it off with the atrocity that is Waffle House sweet tea.
The sweet tea and the water both kind of taste like ketchup a little bit.
Oh God!
I'm right.
Yeah, you are right. That's the problem because I think the thing got washed with ketchup. That sounds about right. If the health score isn't below a 65, I don't want it.
But yeah, I guess coming up on the 30-minute mark, it was fun just hanging out and chatting for a minute, kind of like we said earlier, an abbreviated stream. So before we go, just want to show up some comments. Casey Clark's a fan of the scattered, smothered, covered, capped method.
I love that profile picture.
Ooh, I cannot go without mentioning this. Do you know what Alabama white sauce is, Dominic?
Never heard of it.
It is I believe mayo-based barbecue sauce. Best thing to ever come out of this state, and we've produced the Alabama Gang and Alexander Shannara billboards and connected.
You're also forgetting about Nick Saban.
And no, well, he's not from Alabama, though.
Well, the Alabama football program that was under Nick Saban. Yes, you got to give that credit where credit is due. And let's not forget UAB hockey.
Yes, and the most prestigious hockey team from the state of Alabama, UAB.
Let's go, Maddox, JP. The hammer and
Will Rigdon knows ball. He knows what he's talking about. Anyways, though, it was fun getting on here and chatting for a little bit and going off topic several times. But
it's what we do best.
I appreciate it.
I guess, yeah, would love to have you on at some point again, and just maybe we can get the whole gang on at some point. Fortunately, JP couldn't join us and Joey couldn't join us, but thanks for coming on, man.
Yep, anytime.
There was a hockey team. We actually got hockey teams in Alabama.
Alabama, UAB, UAH,
Auburn.
Anyways, we're supposed to be ending the show, but
yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Dom, and thanks everybody for watching, and we'll we'll be back on here in a couple weeks, hopefully. So see y'all later.
Yeah, have a good one.